1-800-449-8686. This is the Phil Hendrie Show.
We have another threatened lawsuit against the Catholic Church, and this one involving the Spider-Man movie. Good evening, everyone. I'm Phil Hendrie. Our number is 1-800-449-8686. Mr. Stephen Bosell of Corona, California, joins us to talk with us about what he's been talking with his attorney about. This one, sadly, again, affecting his family and his son. And Mr. Bosell, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And I know that your family's going through a lot right now. What is going on with this in terms of what happened to your son? What happened to you? And how does this involve the Spider-Man movie, which, of course, is a film that's made a lot of money?
That is correct. There was a father-son outing. We had my son plays Little League out here at Corona International, and we were afterwards as a way of celebrating the game that we had won on Saturday morning. And then I found out that the movie they wanted to see was a Spider-Man movie.
And that was a problem for you?
Yes, sir, it is. I'm a Christian, and I don't want you to think that we're Bible thumpers or anything. We are Christians. We believe Jesus Christ is the only Son of God, certainly the only one that can work miracles, such as bringing Lazarus back from the dead and these kinds of things. We accept only Jesus as doing miracles.
All right.
Now, the Spider-Man movie, my understanding is, he's crawling up the sides of buildings and shooting webs out of his hands and all this. He's also flies, and he's a guy that turned into a spider, which is also would technically come under the heading of miracle. I'm sure you'd agree with me, and I don't mean to...
well, I guess, yeah, but it's just a movie.
Well, that is true, but it also usurps Jesus' role. And so, therefore...
That a man turning into a spider...
does usurp the role of Jesus, because Jesus is the only one who could perform it. Jesus would be the only one that could technically perform the miracle of getting to become a spider. Not that Jesus would want to do that.
No, I understand.
But if Jesus said, now I want to be Spider-Man, he would be.
Okay, I understand.
In order for us to go to the Spider-Man movie and not have my son miss out on the movie at the same time and doubt his faith, I did not want my son to miss the movie.
All right.
Because this was part of something he was going to do with his friends.
I understand.
But I also didn't want him to doubt his faith, so we wanted to make sure everyone knew that only Jesus could perform miracles. Because I don't want my son in Sunday school asking why didn't Jesus shoot webs out of his hand or this kind of thing.
I understand that.
So before the movie started, I got up in front of everybody, and this was in the theater.
So were all the fathers and their sons were there?
We were in the movie theater, and there were about, I'd say probably about 15 boys with their fathers.
So about 30 people?
Right. Well, there were other people in the theater.
All right.
And I got up and I said, excuse me, everyone, my name is Stephen Bosell, and I want you to know that Jesus is the only begotten Son of God and the only one that could do all the stuff that we're about to see on the screen, even turn into a spider. Only Jesus can do that. And that's when the problem started.
All right, now you say somebody shouted something?
I wrote it down. Somebody from the back said, who I later found out was Mr. Dean Carmel, who is one of the fathers.
Okay.
He said, why don't you sit down and shut the F up? He used the F word.
I understand, sir.
My son was there.
Okay. What did you do next?
Well, here I am trying to tell him that only Jesus could do what Spider-Man's about to do, and I want everybody to know that. So this guy tells me to shut the F up. I was shocked. I basically pushed my hand right into my face into my hands, and I ran from the theater.
All right, you ran out of the theater, and then what?
I probably spent the next hour just sobbing in the back of my car. My son didn't even follow after to see if I was okay.
All right, so you are contemplating a lawsuit against the Catholic Church. Why is that?
Because I believe that God is so angry at the Catholics about them groping kids that he would not allow me to show my son the power of Jesus, that only Jesus could do miracles.
Well, how were you attempting to show your son that only Jesus could do miracles?
I told him the story of multiplying the loaves and fishes. And I said, if I pray hard enough, and I pray hard enough, and I pray hard enough, I can make that happen.
Okay.
And I went home, and we had some fish sticks and a loaf of bread in the icebox, and that's when and maybe I should not have, and I don't know, but I tried to.
You tried to perform a miracle by multiplying the fish sticks?
We had, they were Vandekamp halibut sticks, and we had a loaf of bread, yes, sir.
All right, well, what I'm seeing here is a lawsuit against Spider-Man, Stan Lee, the Corona Academy Theater.
That is correct. Rick Newman actually was the Little League father who told me to shut the F up. My son abandoned me. I was considering
suing your own son.
That's the tragedy of this, yes, sir.
And you also want to sue the Catholic Church because you weren't able to multiply fish sticks.
Well, I know that. Okay.
I mean, that you got to admit that sounds a little ridiculous.
No, I know that does. But what I'm trying to say to you is, I believe that Jesus is the only one that can make miracles up. And the only way that anybody else could make up a miracle is if they believe in him. And so that's why I prayed to him. And you could make up a miracle if you prayed good enough and good enough. But
well, as you put it, maybe you didn't pray good enough.
No, I believe that I did. And I think the reason why they wouldn't let me multiply the Vandicamps is because that God's mad at Christians on account of what the Catholics broke on the kids.
So that brings us to the lawsuit that you're filing against Pope John Paul.
That is correct, because I think everybody suing the Archdiocese, that's nuts. I think that's ridiculous, and I think that's counterproductive. What we have done is we will file a lawsuit against the Pope himself, because the Catholics were playing with little kids, and then I wasn't able to multiply or do a miracle, which I know you probably think is ridiculous.
Well, I don't think, because Jesus multiplied the loaves and fish sticks.
I knew the chances that's not what Jesus had, but...
No, I'm sure he didn't, but you're not suing Vandicamps, are you?
Well, sir, if you want to make a joke out of it, my son has had his religious upbringing...
I'm not trying to make a joke, sir. I just think that you... Let me give our phone number out, 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686.
See, it's the Catholics that started all of this.
Are you Catholic?
No, sir, I'm not. I wouldn't be Catholic. No, sir.
You're not Catholic?
Not a chance. No way. Not them playing with kids and everything?
Well, not all Catholics are doing that.
No, I understand that, but I would not want...
All right, our number is 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. Mr. Stephen Bosell took your son to see Spider-Man, but you wanted everybody to know that Spider-Man can't really do the things that he's doing.
In the movie, that's right.
So you made a comment to everybody in the theater, you know that only Jesus Christ can perform these things, these miracles, and you were told to sit down and shut the F up.
That is correct.
And you were humiliated by that. And then did you come home with your son?
Then I come home with my son, Chad, and I said, look, only Jesus can perform miracles, not no Spider-Man. I said, or if you believe in Jesus, you can maybe. That's when I brought out the Vandicamp.
I know, they were Vandicamp halibut
fillets.
They're breaded.
I believe they're the breaded ones. They also have the Cajun style.
It doesn't matter what they were. So you took out the halibut sticks and you tried to multiply them.
I knew that I wasn't going to, okay? But I wanted my son to see my faith in Jesus, that maybe if anybody could make me multiply the fish sticks, that Jesus could.
And if you were somehow successful at multiplying the fish sticks and the loaf of bread...
That would be a miracle.
Now, Mr. Bosell, you said to me that you knew that you couldn't do this.
I said the chances weren't.
So why would you blame the Catholic Church that you can't do it?
Because I think, honestly, that God is upset with Christians because Catholics has been groping kids. Now, I'm not no Catholic. I was raised Baptist, and for most of my life, I have been Baptist. How come I don't get to do a miracle because the Catholics was playing with kids?
Well, I don't think that you can necessarily put it on the Catholics, can you?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you can't say...
I think God is done with all of us because of Catholic. I think He's done with all of us. I think we're coming into a period now of darkness because Spider-Man is all over the place. Nobody says Jesus can do that stuff. They say, look at Spider-Man do it, but they don't say Jesus could be a spider or anything like that. The children are being turned away quickly.
All right, Mr. Bosell, our number, hold on for a minute, okay?
Yes, sir.
1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. I asked the guy, you Catholic? He said, not a chance. And he thinks it's because Catholics have been molesting kids that he wasn't able to show his son that Jesus can help you perform miracles by multiplying fishes and loaves. He was using some fish out of his freezer and bread from the icebox, and he wasn't able to do it, and he says it's because the Catholics have turned Jesus away from everyone. The other problem, if you're following this, is he got into a problem in the movie theater that he said, I want you all to know that only Jesus can do what Spider-Man's doing. And that's when he was told to shut the F up, and he put that down in his lawsuit, and to sit down. He ran from the theater humiliated. Okay, it's a big wide world full of all kinds of opinions, folks. 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686, The Phil Hendrie Show. Not a...
1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
I'm so very, very worried about it.
Well, I know you are. We're with Mr. Stephen Bosell, who is contemplating lawsuits against the filmmakers, the makers of Spider-Man, the Catholic Church, et al. He feels that the Spider-Man movie is driving your son away from Jesus?
Well, Mr. Hendrie, it's a problem I think most parents are having right now, that Spider-Man appears to be more powerful than Jesus, that Spider-Man looks like he can do more things than Jesus. And if you look at it and you think about it, he does do more stuff than Jesus done. And my son will say to me, well, how come, like if Spider-Man had been on the cross, he could have got himself off the cross? I got no way to answer that.
Is your son asking you these questions?
Yes, he is.
How old is your son?
He's 6. And he's just now getting into his Bible, and I got no way to answer that. And that's why I say that if the Catholics hadn't molested children, I'd be able to say to my son, well, look, you know, Jesus can do even more stuff than Spider-Man and even more stuff than that. But now my son will just say, yeah, maybe he'll grab my rear end or something. I don't know.
So basically, you're saying your son trusts Spider-Man more than Jesus?
That's it, yeah. He'd say to me, Spider-Man used his web to get off the cross. Spider-Man could have used his jump from all over the place when he was throwing them out of the temple, but Jesus never done nothing like that at all. And I have no way to answer him.
Well, I can tell you. All right, 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. A father who is having problems talking with his son about whether Jesus is better than Spider-Man. And let me go to a phone call here. 1-800-449-8686. Rich, go ahead.
Yeah, this man needs to not worry about Spider-Man. It's just a movie. The Lord isn't in the business of worrying about these people that make movies. He needs more faith.
What about the little kids? See, they look at Spider-Man and they say, see, now Jesus can't do none of that.
Well, what the Catholic Church is doing with these little kids has nothing to do with Spider-Man.
I'm afraid that it does, because I think what's going on is that the Catholics is molesting these kids, and that now Jesus won't help me out.
So, in between you and Jesus has nothing to do with Spider-Man. You just need to build more faith. You ain't got enough faith to move a mountain. If you had enough faith to move a mountain,
I could have multiplied them fish sticks.
You ain't going to get fish sticks praying. That's ridiculous.
No, sir. But you say that the Bible says you can move a mountain. I was trying to prove that to my son by multiplying the fish sticks, just like Jesus do on the Sermon on the Mount.
Well, what does you multiplying the fish sticks have to do with the movie? Just because you're mad at the Catholics, you're so far off base. It's unbelievable.
No, sir. My son says to me that Jesus doesn't look as cool as Spider-Man, who wears a cool red and white leotard, and Jesus was just in a sheet.
All of that movie is just make-believe,
right,
and it has nothing to do with God or anything else. You need to get a real life is what you need to do.
What are you talking about? I take my son out to see the Spider-Man movie. I went up in front of everybody and I said, I want you all to know that the only person that can really do the stuff
with everybody and his soon coming back.
Right.
And people need to quit worrying about the Spider-Man and start serving the Lord.
But my son don't believe it because he thinks Spider-Man could beat the hell out of Jesus.
Well, he's wrong. All he needs to do is let him know that this is just a movie and it is fiction and it is not real. It's just something that is made up in somebody's mind, and the Lord ain't got time to mess around with these little dinky movies.
But what do I say to my son when my son looks at Spider-Man and he goes, look at that. Spider-Man could whoop on Jesus and kick his butt 6 ways to sunset.
Well, that is absolutely absurd, because there is nobody that can kick his butt.
Oh, yeah?
So nobody can kick the butt of Jesus Christ. He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and what you need to do is serve the Lord and quit worrying about these movies. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even be going to that movie if it's going to cause that much problem. You need to get a life and serve the Lord instead of dabbling with these points.
But my son wanted to go because his Little League team was going, and then my son says to me, Jesus was a carpenter, but Spider-Man was a writer for a newspaper. Now, what am I supposed to do?
You ain't supposed to do nothing. You're just supposed to tell him, hey, that's just a fiction movie, and that has nothing to do with Jesus Christ at all.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Well, then answer me this. Spider-Man could have got off the cross.
Spider-Man wasn't on the cross.
But
Jesus Christ could have gotten off the cross. He could have called down 10,000 angels. He could have spoke the word. He could have done whatever he wanted to do. But it was you and I that we may have life eternal.
Look, that's all in the Bible, okay?
But my son thinks that's baloney.
Well, so is Spider-Man.
But he's watching on TV.
Well, then you ought to start monitoring your kid, not let him see these movies if he's got a mind that can't comprehend that this is just a little
I just want to know one thing.
Story.
You sound like a man who is a man of the Lord. Do you think if I prayed long enough and hard enough over them halibuts, the halibut fillets that I brought out of the freezer, could I have made more of them?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well then you don't believe in the Bible.
I believe in the Bible, but he's not going to grant you a foolish thing such as trying to multiply the fish to show your son that he is better than Spider-Man. It's ridiculous.
My son asked, how come Spider-Man didn't save Jesus off the cross? And I said,
because Spider-Man doesn't have any power. That's why.
You don't think he could take Jesus down off the cross?
Absolutely not.
Well, then he couldn't have whipped out a web and gone...
Come on!
I think you're both nuts.
No, you're the guy trying to multiply halibut steaks. Thank you, sir. 1-800-449-8686, the number on the Phil Hendrie Show here. Are you suing the Catholic Church because they molested kids, which made God angry, and now he won't back you up when you try to multiply halibut steaks?
That's basically it, yeah. But they weren't halibut steaks.
All right, they were frozen.
They were Vandekamp frozen halibut breaded fillets.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry that I got that wrong.
You know, you can make fun of a man trying to help his son understand the power of Jesus all you want, Mr. Hendrie. But I think it's damn sad that all I did was stand up in a movie theater in Corona, California and say, I hope you all realize that what we're about to see is junk only Jesus can do.
Including jumping from building to building.
Right.
Which is what only Jesus would do that.
That is correct.
And you were told to shut up and sit the F down.
That is correct. Son of a bitch.
All right, sir. Our number, 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. Mr. Stephen Bosell, who is contemplating a lawsuit against the Catholics because of their molesting kids. God is so angry at Christians that he's not helping Mr. Bosell explain to his son the difference between Spider-Man and Jesus. Spider-Man never would have hung from a cross. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show.
Clear Channel Worldwide. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686.
Mr. Stephen Bosell is a father. He lives in Corona, California. He's contemplating lawsuits against the makers of Spider-Man, the Catholic Church, the Corona Academy Theater, a Little League coach that works with his son, because all of them essentially have mocked him, in his opinion, in trying to explain to his son that Spider-Man's not as good as Jesus.
And my son thinks Spider-Man...
I know, hold on. And your son thinks Spider-Man is cooler than Jesus.
Yes, sir, and when you see your son in his bedroom, he replaces Jesus on a cross with a Spider-Man action figure, and he's got all prayers about the great webbed one and everything. To me, that's gone over the line.
Yeah, but see, you're the guy that's trying to show your son the power of Jesus by multiplying Vandekamp halibut fillets, just the way Jesus did the fishes, right?
All I'm saying is that if you believe and believe, I'm trying to do it. Come on in here, Chad. I'm on the radio right now talking.
Is your son there?
Yes, he is. Come on in, son. Sit down. I'm right here. Okay, hold on. I have fish right here in front of you, Mr. Hendrie.
All right, hold on. I can't hear you.
I've got the fish fillets right here.
What are you doing?
Hold on.
All right, let me take a phone call.
Yes, sir.
And talk to Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
Maybe I should...
I got a question, sir. Why are you comparing...
Turn tartar sauce into water or something.
Why are you comparing Jesus to Spider-Man?
Because my son does.
Why is he?
Okay, Tim, you got any comment?
Well, all right. As far as the Spider-Man and Jesus still goes, you need to explain to him that it is fictional, not fact.
Well, he don't know that Jesus exists either, do he? Because all he got there is a book. Spider-Man's got his whole movie.
This is the modern ages. Not all movies are
What are
fact.
you doing?
I'm trying to change the fish into more than one.
Sir, okay.
You're trying to change the fish into more than...
I'm trying to multiply them.
Why are you trying to do that?
What are you doing?
I'm trying real hard.
Well, that's not going to do it. I'm trying to change the fish into more than one.
And it didn't do it.
No, it didn't, did it? Why didn't you say a prayer or something?
Oh, that's right. Dear God, change these fish.
Oh, get out of here, will you? And your son thinks that Spider-Man's better than Jesus. No wonder with a nutcase like you for a father.
Why don't you try praying to Spider-Man?
Dear Spider-Man.
Okay, 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. This is the Phil Hendrie Show. How long did it take you to get where you were going today? Was it a long trip? Was it a slow and go? Was it just a typical traffic jam in the midst of those, Southern California rains? How long did it take Amy? She was going from Northridge to Long Beach? 3 hours. From 6:30 in the morning until she got to where she was going. 2.5 hours to get down there, huh? We got one guy hanging on the line here. It's been 3 hours to get to work today. How long did it take you? Hi, it's Fontana? Sir?
Yes, Phil, it's Fontana.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. It took me 3 hours.
3 hours from where?
I had a job in Northridge, and I left Fontana this morning at 8 o'clock. I got to Northridge by 11 o'clock this morning. I do construction work, and we were doing a cement pour out in Northridge, and it took me 3 full hours to get out there, and then it took us another, I'd say 6 hours to do a cement pour, and we could not get the cement set up at all. I left the job site at 4. And I left my crew on a job site.
What were you doing, sir? This is what kind of work do you do?
I do construction, Phil.
And where was this?
It was out in Northridge. I was doing a cement pour. I was pouring 2 slabs for what is called a tilt-up job. And
what's a tilt-up?
Tilt-up's when you pour cement slab and then you tilt the cement up to form a wall. We're building an office park out there.
Okay.
So it took me 3 hours to get out there. That's from Fontana. That's generally about an hour and a half trip. And it took me another 3.5 hours to get home tonight because of rain. I've got a story, too, that to tell you that, and that's just ridiculous for driving in Southern California. And I'll tell you something else, because I got held up by the California Highway Patrol on my way home today. Which is a story in and of itself.
Did you get pulled over? Well, you couldn't have gotten pulled over for speeding.
Well, I did. I got pulled over for, he said I was weaving. And what happened was I was in some very slow traffic on my way home on the 210 freeway going out Fontana from the valley. And traffic is just bumper to bumper out on the 210, I'd say about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And it just gets just a little boring, you know. I try to keep the radio turned on, nothing on the radio, try to play some music, nothing on the music. It got kind of boring, and I get a little anxious because I knew I had to get home. My wife was going to a meeting tonight, and I had to take care of the kids and cook them dinner. And I think it's just completely ridiculous that there's something that Highway Patrol can't do anything, or if there's something the Caltrans can do, because I'm with you, even just because it's raining doesn't mean that it should take people as long as it does.
Well, I'm joking around. I mean, obviously the reason why people are the reason why the traffic is slow is because of the weather. You know, they're just slowing down.
Yeah, but even with the weather the way that it is, it seemed to me that they can either open up the diamond lane to single passenger cars. It seems
now there's a good idea. On days when the weather is inclement, why not open up all 5 lanes? That's a good idea. That
to me is a good idea because that way I think there's a better flow of traffic. But the way it was this afternoon, and I told that the California Highway Patrolman who pulled me over that there's got to be something that they can do. If they go on traffic breaks, I think they can. If there's anybody holding traffic up, any slow traffic, I think they pull them over too to try to get it going.
You got pulled over for weaving, huh?
I got pulled over by the CHP today because they said they thought that I was intoxicated. And the reason why...
Why, because you were weaving around in traffic, huh?
Because my car, I guess, had drifted over the broken white line. I was driving home, and I was in the middle of a lot of traffic that was keeping me from getting home. I told my wife that I'd be home about 5 o'clock. I got home about 6:30 this afternoon, or this evening. And she had to wait up for me because we got two young girls that I had to look after, make them breakfast, make them dinner, because she's going off to a meeting. Okay, and
all right. So the cop pulls you over then, huh?
And then the police officer pulled me over. I'll tell you, I don't know how much time you've got, but what happened was basically is I'm driving in the fast lane, and I basically was going from one lane to the other trying to get my car moving. And
well, maybe that's why he pulled you over. You were shifting lanes.
No, he said he thought I was intoxicated, but then he gave me a ticket anyway. And you know, the thing of it is I am a kind of an anxious person by nature, and I get very nervous. And I was in all this slow traffic, and I needed to relax, and it's difficult for me to relax in traffic because I'm kind of a nervous driver anyway. And so I'm sitting there. Couldn't find anything on the radio that I want to listen to. I couldn't find anything to do, you know. I mean, you're sitting there, you're watching the rain hitting the windshield, and I get very anxious and very nervous because I know that I'm going to be late. I tried to get my wife on my cell phone. I couldn't. And this cop who pulled me over today was kind of, I think, overstepped his bounds a little bit in terms of what he said to me. And
well, I'm not following the story. How did the cop overstep his bounds?
Because he said he pulled me over for what he thought I was intoxicated. He found out I was not intoxicated, but he still gave me a ticket. What he called swerving or reckless driving or something. And
well, what did the cops say to you?
Well, I get very anxious in traffic.
Is that why you were swerving?
No. The reason why, partially yes, because what I had done was I get very anxious in traffic. And
I know you said that, sir. What happened?
Well, I had taken a jacket from the passenger seat of the car and I put it over my lap. And I had, because I was very, very nervous, and I knew the only thing that would relax me was I was, you know, relaxing myself, I guess you could call it. Or
what were you doing? What were you doing?
I had my hand down there. And
you were playing with yourself in the car?
I had a jacket over my lap, and I want you to understand something. First of all, I had a jacket over my lap, and yes, I was, sir. And the only reason I say that is because I was not endangering anybody. I did not have it out in full view. There was a couple of semis that would go by. As you know, they have elevated cabs, and I knew that. I knew that right off because I could see it in my rearview mirror. That's why I pulled the windbreaker over my lap.
You had the windbreaker in your lap because you had your hand down your pants. Is that what you're saying?
Because that's how sometimes I get when I get anxious, yes. And
all right. Did the cop give you a ticket for playing with yourself?
No, this is hard for me to say, but he pulled me over, and I got out of the car because he thought I was weaving, so he'd asked me to step out of the car. And when I stepped out of the car, I had my fly open, and my pants were open from my waist down. And I'm not asking anybody to understand that, okay? I realize it might be a difficult thing for people to understand.
Well, I mean, if you're in your car and you're traveling, you're in your rush hour traffic, and you've got your hand down your pants because you're anxious, and this is how you relax yourself, and then you get out. I can understand that, maybe, sir. I don't know. I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's any safer than anything else. But then you say you got out of the car with your pants wide open.
I got out of my car, yes, and I had my this is tough for me to say.
I understand. I'm listening to you.
I had my top button was unbuttoned and the pants were open, and I guess it was very evident to the police officer because he pointed at it. And the point of what I'm trying to say to you is I felt the officer was rude in that I understand it was an unusual situation, but I thought the officer was rude in what he said to me, which was basically, is that thing loaded? And I said, well...
The cop said to you, is that thing loaded?
Yes, sir. Now, I know that probably sounds funny to some people, but I also found it very unprofessional. I found it very rude. And I found it a situation where a California Highway patrolman that pulled me over, it suspects me of leaving or driving intoxicated. I think he could be a little bit more professional. And I understand that I was in the wrong.
Well, you get out of the car, sir, you have your pants open with your thing hanging out, and he points at it and says, is that thing loaded? He's probably trying to find some humor in the situation.
Well, yeah, but all the comments he made, he said, is that thing loaded? He asked me what caliber it was. He was remarking, thought it was a .22, and all of that was demeaning in terms of, I guess he's commenting on the size, which I did not think was fair.
Well, this is an unusual situation, okay?
I'm saying that it embarrassed me and humiliated me, and I know that I was in the wrong and that I should not have been doing that in the car, and I probably should not have gotten out with my pants open like that, but when the officer pointed at me and says, is that thing loaded, and what caliber is that, that was a humiliation of me in front of other motorists. He should have written me the ticket, and gone on his way.
So what did he write? He wrote you the ticket for reckless driving. Sir, you're in the car with your pants open. You're playing with yourself because you're nervous, and I suppose if you get anxious, you have a right to relax yourself so long as it's not going to jeopardize anybody. But doing that made your car weave. Now, I think that's fairly bizarre behavior in your car, but I'm not anybody to judge. That's one thing. Getting out of your car with your pants open and your thing hanging out, did you think to button your pants up?
No, I was very nervous, and I was very preoccupied with a police officer when I saw him pull me over. And
all right, so you were too nervous to button up your pants?
I am saying to you that I understand that I was in the wrong, and I understand that there was an embarrassing situation for me. But why did the officer have to humiliate me in front of everybody by saying that? And
well, you got to admit it's funny.
To him, it was funny. To me, it was a humiliation, and it was unnecessary, and I think it was unprofessional.
Look at I can't remember the last time I got pulled over by a cop. Will you hold the line, please, sir?
Yes, sir, I will. But again, the point that I'm trying to make is I felt that the officer was in the wrong.
No, I know that. Hold the line so we can discuss this further. This guy was playing with himself in his car, and he got out, and his pants were wide open, and the cop pointed at his thing hanging out and said, "Is that thing loaded?" This guy feels, I think that's under the circumstances, it was probably a pretty funny thing to say, but what do I know? If we have any CHP, if we have any CHP out there who can comment on the legality or otherwise the professionalism of pointing at a guy's thing hanging out of his pants and saying, "Is that thing loaded?" Do you live in Fontana, sir?
I live in Corona, Phil.
You live in Corona, okay. And you were driving home, and the and you readily admit that you were playing with yourself, right?
I do admit it, and it's a very difficult thing. It's embarrassing, but it is something that I do to alleviate anxiety, and because of the rain today and because of the delay in getting home, I was very nervous. I was listening to the radio. The situation going on at your station with the removal of with the new show there. It's got me a little bit upset because I'm a long-time KFI listener. And
so to alleviate all of this anxiety, you got your hand in your pants, and now the car's weaving. Is that right?
The police officer said it was weaving, right. He said I went over the broken white line. And
all right, so he pulls you over, you get out of the car, and you forget to zip your pants up.
Because I was very nervous. I mean, I've got no other excuse than to say that I was very nervous, yeah. So I got out of the car, and I guess my pants were not done up, and the police officer looked at me, and he said, "Is that thing loaded?" pointing at my thing. And I said to him, I understand that it's an unusual situation, but I wish you'd be more professional about it. And
well, what are you claiming? The cop was not professional? He was making a joke.
I think that what he did was humiliate me in front of everybody. Now, I'd addressed the situation earlier that I'd been listening to the radio, trying to find the John and Ken show. And
I understand it, sir. They're not here anymore, okay?
I realize that, but I had called your radio station on Monday and Tuesday, and I called the station today to find out what had happened to them, and I was told that they were no longer there, and I also said, well, I would like to voice my opinion, and nobody was there. Now, you got a lot of folks who are listening to your radio station who enjoyed the John and Ken show and did not have the opportunity to find out what happened to them. And
is that why you had your hand in your pants?
All I'm saying is that I have a listening habit that I'm used to, and I was very anxious today. Yeah, not just because of that. Because
you're telling me because John and Ken aren't on the air anymore, because that makes you more nervous, so you had your hand in your pants?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it contributed to it. It also, I think it's a little bit unfair to have I forget the name of your new show.
Corell and Andrew.
Okay, and I'm driving along, and I've got them on the air. I've got my hand in my pants, and the police pull me over, and with them on the radio and my thing out, and obviously I was very humiliated. And
wait, whoa, pal! The story you're telling me is confusing and way out there. You're saying you got out of your car with your thing hanging out, with Corell and Andrew on the air, and the cop says, "Is that thing loaded?"
Okay, if you don't want to take,
no, sir, I want to take you seriously, all right?
I'm saying it made me look as if I'm gay because I had it out with them on the radio and the cops seen it. And a lot of this, I think, could have been avoided had I been allowed to voice my opinion to your radio station about John and Ken not being there. And that's what I wanted to do.
Sir, you can voice your opinion if that'll help you not get a ticket and not play with yourself in traffic so that when you get out of the car, the CHP doesn't see your thing hanging out?
Well, I think that there are a hell of a lot of people who really miss them, and I wanted the opportunity to say how I feel about them. Because I do.
All right, I'll give you that opportunity, okay? I can't pay for your ticket. I'm sorry that you had Carell and Andrew on the radio and you got out of the car and your pants were wide open and the cop is seeing this, and I don't think that makes you gay. No, okay?
I don't think literally, but I think the police officer humiliated me.
Well, you know what? It's a convergence of things that happened that I have no control over, and you really didn't have any control over. It's one thing to have your hand in your pants, etc. You're a very strange man, sir, okay?
Phil, let me say this. That I will no longer listen to KFI anymore. I will not call any of the talk shows. I will not listen to your radio station because I feel that since John and Ken is no longer on your radio station, that I have no reason to listen to it. And if I turn because of all of this, I think so many of you will have a lawsuit. I think a lot of them will. You'll have.
What do you mean turn?
If I turn because of it. As to what I'm trying to say to the gay.
You're going to turn to the gay because of what, Carell and Andrew?
Because of the fact that there are thousands of John and Ken listeners who can no longer listen, and you have not given them a voice on your radio station.
And so, therefore, you're going to become gay.
Well, if you don't understand...
No, I don't understand, okay? Hold on, 1-800-5201. So John and Ken ain't on the air anymore. This guy was driving in traffic with his hand in his pants, and the cop said, is that thing loaded? And now, what? Thank you. On the line with me is a man who got pulled over by the CHP today for weaving in traffic. He apparently was... Because you're playing with yourself in your car, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you got pulled over, and your thing is hanging out, and the cop says, "Is that thing loaded?"
You don't need to keep bringing that up, okay?
Well, I'm bringing it up for a point. You said that that's how you relax, and the reason why you were anxious, among other things, is because John and Ken aren't on the air anymore, right?
I think that we have an opportunity to, we have not been given an opportunity to say that we very, very dearly miss them. And they were my friends in the car every day when I drive home. I would hear them, and I did not hear them, and I got anxious, and it's just a different drive home.
So you didn't hear them on the radio, and you got anxious, and you started playing with yourself, and a cop pulls you over, okay?
Well, Phil, it's not about that. It's just I felt very close to John Cobell. I exchanged emails with him. He was very friendly to me. I felt that they spoke to me, and all of a sudden they're off the air, and nobody said a word one about it. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they're going. I don't know where they're going to wind up.
All right. Well, let me take another call on this. Your problem is anxiety over John and Ken and not getting home on time, huh?
Well, and the other question I think a lot of John and Ken fans want to know: can you get me in contact with John and Ken? Do you know his home? Not his home number. I guess you can't give out a home number.
No, I can't give out his home number, and no, I can't get you in touch with him. Okay, I don't know how to help you. Here is San Marino on KFI. Hello.
Yes, I'm listening to this man you have on your program tonight, and I'm listening to this guy. So first off, is the gentleman there?
I'm right here.
All right. First off, what's your name?
My name is Steve Bosell, sir.
All right. My name's Harvey Wyman. I'm an attorney at law. Steve, quit your whining. And you're crying, okay? I do agree with you about John and Ken. I do miss them very much myself. But when you're sitting there whining and sniveling about it, I don't think it does anybody any good, okay? I think they did a great program. And
well, why was I not told where they were?
Beg your pardon?
Why was I not told where they were?
I don't know why you weren't told where they were.
We don't know. I mean, sir, the point is they're not here anymore, okay? I don't know what you want KFI to do about it.
Well, you're the people that take them off the air. And, well, don't give me the runaround. Mr. Henry, he asked you a pretty good question. Where are they and what happened to them?
I don't know.
Bull crap. Where are they and what happened to them?
I don't know.
See, that's what I'm up against. That's what I think a lot of John and Ken fans are up against. We don't know where they are or where they're going to go, where we can hear them again.
Okay? And yeah, but you getting on the radio and saying that you had your hand down there playing with your Johnson when a cop pulls you over and you got your thing hanging in the breeze only makes you look stupid, okay? That's not a good way to honor whatever it is you're trying to say if you're a John and Ken fan. No, I'm not saying it because I'm a John and Ken fan. That's why I had my thing in my hand. I'm saying it because I was anxious. Yeah, you were anxious because John and Ken aren't on the air, correct? Well,
among other things, what the guy was saying was he was anxious because he was late.
Yeah, but he said he was anxious because he wasn't going to get home on time or something. I was anxious because I wasn't going to get home on time and because, I didn't have the John and Ken show to listen to, right? So what I'm saying to you is that you should stop crying because I missed them, too. I enjoyed listening to their show, too. I think we all did, and I think KFI did a disservice by not saying where they are and where we can hear them again. And I'm just saying that when I called the radio station and we are not allowed to express ourselves, we are not allowed to say how bad we felt about this and how bad we think the whole idea is. And that's what I call censorship. Well, if you'll let me say this, and Mr. Hendrie, I'd like to say something because I concur with this man. I think the audience needs to be given a forum, and I would ask for an hour on KFI, either on the Bill Handel Show or one of the other shows, Rush Limbaugh or the two, the new guys, Carell and Andrew, that we be given the opportunity to properly say our goodbyes and to express how very sad we are, because you can hear this man's situation here.
Yeah, but I can't separate this guy's complaining from the fact that the CHP pulled him over today and he was playing with himself in his car, okay?
But that's not the whole point. I understand that's ridiculous, okay? But that's not the whole point. It was just that I got anxious, so I had to do something. And yeah, but for buddy, you don't stick your hand down your pants.
That's the point we're trying to make here, okay, Steve? That if you are anxious and nervous, you know what, pal? Keep that inside your house, all right? You understand?
I understand that, but I've lost two very good friends the afternoon. Oh, Jesus. You got to quit whining. I'm sorry, but I just did. You got to quit whining and crying. You just make all of us look stupid, okay? Quit your crying and quit your whining. And I would like, again, Mr. Hendrie, to ask for some time so that those of us who I just missed them so very much. I don't know what to do. Jesus Christ. Stop crying about it, okay?
The guy's, he's upset.
I know he's upset, but I'm a John and Ken fan, too. I just miss them so very much. Well, would you stop that?
He's upset. You need to chill it out a little bit, okay?
Well, Mr. Hendrie, I want to say I cried myself to sleep last night. You did what? I cried myself to sleep last night because I was laying there, I was staring at the ceiling, I went, oh, God, where's John and Ken? I don't know where they are, and I just, hold on for a minute, I got to undo my pants. Jesus, what's he going to do?
What are you doing?
I got to undo my pants. Oh, Christ, he's playing with himself again.
Sir, do whatever you want to do. At least it's radio, okay?
I can't help it. I'm very anxious. My world is empty without John and Ken. Look, at Phil, I don't know anything about this jackass playing with himself. What I'm asking for... John and Ken. What's he doing?
Would you please hang your phone up over there, pal?
Oh, John and Ken. What's he doing?
Hang your phone up. Okay, hang your phone up.
Listen, what I'm asking for is some time on your station so that we can all discuss how we feel about John and Ken and the fact that we'd like to know where they are. John and Ken. Oh, Christ, this guy's bad news.
Can we put that guy's line on hold, Jonah, okay?
This is so gross. John and Ken. Look, time so we can express that now the guy's got... John's on the upstroke, Ken on the downstroke. John on the upstroke, Ken on the downstroke. God damn it, Henry, would you put the guy on hold?
Put him on hold, Jonah. Okay, he's on hold.
Christ, that's disgusting. We want time on your radio station to express how very sad we are that they're gone.
Well, I think you've done that very well.
Done what?
Expressed how sad you are that they're gone.
Oh, come on, for Christ's sake. You got a guy over here jerking his gherk, and I'm trying to calm him down. How have I expressed it very well? Come on, Colbelt. I thought you put him on hold.
I did, too. Okay, there. Go ahead.
So we feel bad that they're gone, and we missed them. And I think that's what that sick bastard's trying to say there on the other line. That's all.
Well, I think you may not think you have, but I think you have very nicely articulated that you missed them, and that you hope to see them back in circulation once more.
Well, I appreciate that, Phil.
I'm all better now, Phil.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You're all better, huh?
Yeah, I feel good now.
Are you talking to him or me?
I'm talking to you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm saying to you,
goddamn, I'm out of napkins.
Will you hang up on this guy?
Hang up.
I'm saying to you that I appreciate your allowing an opportunity to discuss it. That's all.
Look, I've been in the business a long time. I know how an audience gets attached to a host, but as I said the other night, and I have to repeat it, you have to move on. You got to get over it.
Well, I know that, and
I'm over it now.
Get that sick bastard off of your airwaves, okay? Jesus.
Bill, you got these John and Ken sound bites?
No, I don't. All right, listen, I think both you guys have expressed it very well, and you know what? Onward and upward, and the world has to keep on turning.
Oh. Some kind of a Vietnam veteran, huh?
No, I'm not a Vietnam veteran.
Sounds like something from Platoon. The world will turn.
Well, it will, okay? There, you said it. Are you happy?
I'm happy now, Phil. I'm happy. Are you happy?
Yeah, I feel great.
Good.
I'm fine.
All right.
I'm ecstatic.
Gee, really? You know, I'm going to find out where that guy...
Okay, he's gone, and so are you. We're all happy.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. This is the Phil Hendrie Show, and our number is 1-800-5201 for, 5201 KFI for Orange County, 5201 KFI for LA County. You still got 7 digits in the numbers, or is it 8, or pretty soon it's going to be 10. Ain't there a new area code now? 1-800-5201 KFI Orange County, 5201 KFI in LA County. Let's go to some phone calls here. Corona on KFI AM 640. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Phil, how you doing?
Good.
How are you tonight?
I'm real good, sir. Let's get to it. What's up?
Well, I had a experience with a woman in my kid's school that I wanted to talk to you about because she has talked to her children and has said some things about me that the kids are now at my kid's school spreading all over the school that I believe are slanderous and I believe very hurtful, and considering legal action against her.
This is the woman who said some stuff to who? To your kids?
No, she said these things to her children, and her children then went to the school and repeated them. And it is my opinion that she is being purposely defaming my character and possibly alienating the affection of my children.
And what is the situation here, sir? You're talking to me about something that what is going on here? Can you tell me?
Well, what has happened is that I am a business owner here in Corona.
Can you give me your name?
Let me tell my story first, because I really don't want to give my name on the air.
All right, go ahead. Well, you're a business owner in Corona?
Yes, sir. I have a business, and I've had a pretty good reputation among the people I do business with. I've also got, obviously, a reputation in my children's school. And my situation here at home with my wife is one that obviously I want to protect.
All right, let's get to the story. What happened? You got a lady spreading stuff about your school. Is it something that you did?
No, I didn't do it. I don't believe I did anything. I was in a video store the other evening, and I had come out to check out some videos. And I saw this woman who, again, she is a mother of some children who attend my children's school. And she was there and saw some films that I was checking out, which I believe I had a right to check out. My wife is on family business now in Tennessee, which is where our family is originally from. My father is sick. And the lady in question saw that I had, which I believe is my legal right, obviously, to check out adult films, which I did have. She saw this. She told her children about it. Actually, had two. I think one of her sons was with her that the night that I was in the store. And now the kid has gone to school. She's repeated these things to the other children. And I think that it's entirely unfair that she's done this. I am a responsible father.
Well, you were in a video store checking out adult movies, is that it?
I was, yes, sir, because of the fact that my wife is out of town, something that I wanted to do. I certainly don't think I have to explain my actions.
No, I don't think you have to explain your actions either. So what is this lady doing?
Well, that's the whole point. I mean, she's telling people that I was checking out adult films. And
so what's the problem with that?
Well, what's the problem with that? I have a reputation, obviously. I also have a reputation with my kids. I have a reputation with my children's school, and I do have a business reputation as well. And because I had these films, now she's telling people that I had them. Now, my wife's out of town. This is obviously something that my children are going to discuss with my wife when she comes back. And I don't want her or people thinking that I am some kind of an individual, whether I'm a pervert, if you want to put it that way.
Well, checking out adult movies doesn't make you a pervert.
No, but she's talking to people as if it does. She's telling her kids that she's seen me in a video store. And I don't need people talking about me like that, because I do have, as I said, a relationship with a lot of people in business. And I have a reputation with my kids.
So you're in the video store and you were checking out adult movies in the adult section.
And I came out and I had some fellows with me, and she was there. And I immediately knew that I might have a problem with her, because I know this woman from the school, and she has a reputation for being kind of a blabbermouth around our kids' school. She likes to gossip and tell a lot of stories.
Well, with people like that, you consider the source. You know what I mean, sir? Yeah, I mean, you don't let people like that get you down.
Well, she saw the movies that I was renting. And
so you're renting adult movies. I mean, what difference does it make? The movies that you have a right to rent, and certainly, is it that you don't want your wife to know?
No, I don't even think it's that. I mean, it's just that my wife is out of town, and I tried to explain to the woman as I was leaving that I needed the movies because my wife has been out of town for 3 weeks. Her father's been sick, and that I didn't want anyone to know. This is sort of a private thing that I did, and I needed to release, some pressure or tension or whatever, because my wife is out of town.
And did you stop and talk to this woman? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I kind of had to, Mr. Henry, because she was there staring at me. And I said hello, and I said, how are you? And she didn't say anything. And I told her, if I don't know what you're thinking, but I can tell you there's nothing wrong. I told her just what I told you. I said I was getting backed up, that my wife's been out of town.
Wait. Now, why are you saying all of this to this woman, okay? You're talking to a woman who you know is a blabbermouth.
Well, she's going to blab, and I wanted to give her my story on this, okay?
You went into a video store. Your wife's been out of town for 3 weeks. You went into a video store to buy some, or not to buy, but you went in to rent some adult videos.
She's been out of town, okay? And now this lady is a blabber.
Yeah, but hold on. Listen to what I'm saying to you. You went into a store. You got some adult videos. It's nobody's business but yours. You walk by this woman.
But because of the fact that she's going to put whatever spin she wants on this, I had to tell her.
So you walked by her and you said what?
I said, how are you? And she didn't say anything to me. Okay, if she gives me some response, that's fine. She sort of looked at me and looked down at the movies that I was renting. And that's when I said to her, now, you have to understand something. My wife's been out of town for 3 weeks, and I'm getting backed up. And I told
you told this woman that your wife's been out of town for 3 weeks and you're getting backed up.
I told her, Mr. Henry, that I needed these films, that I had to have the movies.
And you told her what? You had to have the movies?
Because of the fact my wife's not in town, and I needed some kind of release because of the backup that I was telling you about. Now, she looks at me, and she's looking at the movies, and told her kids about this, and that is when my kids heard about it at school. And
well, I still don't understand, okay, the fact that if you are in a video store, I don't know whether or not you should have told her what you told her.
Well, I had to, because I knew she'd put a spin on this thing.
And so you told her I'm in the adult video store there, and I'm a little backed up.
Look, and she also saw the movies that I'm renting, and I was worried because they're films that are not, I suppose you'd say they're not normal films, or they're not out of they're movies that I did not want anybody to know that I had. That's all I'm saying.
Well, what were they, man? I mean, if it's adult movies, it's...
Well, it was unusual things. There was black on white. Some things that I have expressed publicly that I do not approve of, and I was renting the movies.
Well, what was it? Black on white? You mean black people with white people?
black men with white women. And I've made a public statement on occasion. I don't believe that should be. And
okay, so now you're out there in the video store and you're renting this stuff, so you're stuck, huh?
Well, I said to her that you have to understand, my wife is out of town. I told her that I would make it worth her while if she would not make a fool out of me. I said to her that if you would please not say anything, I could make it worth your while.
And all right, so here's the town blabbermouth or the school blabbermouth sees you coming out of an adult video store with these films, and it features black and white sex together, and you say to her that you need them because you're backed up, correct?
I told her my wife was out of town.
Okay, and then you say to her, I'll make it worth your while if you won't say anything to anybody.
I just asked her, please don't say anything to anybody. And I said to her, I can make it worth your while.
What did you mean by make it worth your while?
I offered her $100 if she wouldn't say anything.
And you offered her $100? Well, the $100 didn't do any good.
No, it did not. She went immediately home. I guess she told whoever. This was back at school. Now my kids got teased about it. Your daddy was in the video store last night. He had some of the Jungle Fever movies and all of this about the black people and the whites together. She's got a phone tree, so she's very active in the community anyway, and she's all on touch with all of these friends and has called all these people. And
well, you know what? If it's a little Harper Valley PTA busybody kind of a thing, man, I wouldn't worry about that, okay? And the fact that...
Well, I had some other films. In other words, it got all over town that I had rented some movies about black and white sex and anal sex. And
oh, man. So, in other words, all of this stuff is all over town, is what you're saying?
It's not all over town, but it's around the school.
It's around all of the people that are at the kids' school, right?
That's correct. And I'm just worried about...
Well, what is the stuff you're renting, pal? You got black and white sex. You have this other stuff you're talking about.
I have 3 copies of some, I guess you call, top-heavy movies. I had one here. I had it here in a box, Attack of the Monster Memories. And she saw that. I don't know. All I'm saying is this, and the reason why I called your program is that I was...
Attack of the Monster Memories.
Yeah. The reason why I called your program was this, that I believe I tried to do the very best that I could in terms of stopping this woman from talking. She talked. I do believe now I have a case that she has defamed my character, that she is trying to alienate the affection of my children, and that she is causing me mental distress. And if my wife finds out that I had, these Jungle Fever movies, I'm dead meat. Because...
Well, does your wife know that you watch adult films?
She knows I watch adult movies, but she doesn't know that I'm watching the black on white stuff, and she didn't know that I had the anal sex movies. And I tried to tell the woman that please don't say anything. And she found this title here. I don't suppose it's wrong. It's called Monster Mams on the Move, and Attack of the Monster Memories. There was one called Super Judge 3. All these movies I have taken back. And,
well, those movies don't sound all that unusual, sir. It sounds like pretty straight stuff in terms of what men like, and the rest of the thing, the Jungle Fever movies, I don't know what to tell you, okay? But for you to sue...
Well, I believe that I do have a case, because I have tried to be a good man and a good father, and my wife is out of town. I have reason to have these movies, and this woman has spread this stuff.
Will you hold the line, please?
I can hold on. All I want to do is tell...
Just hold the line, because I have to take a break here. Guy went into a video store, rented some movies. Apparently this big mouth from the neighborhood saw it, and she's talking about it now. He rented some adult films that he's embarrassed about. One of them, black and white sex. I don't know. Are you calling from Corona?
I'd appreciate it if you not trace the call or anything.
I'm not going to trace the call. You calling from Corona?
Yes, I am.
All right, hold on. What do you do when you come out of it? You ever happen to you? No, well, what the hell? You're a single man. What do you care, right? Come walking out of the video store with some adult films, and you run into who? Like an ex-girlfriend, or your mother, or your aunt, or your grandma, and she's in the same section as you? What are you going to do? 1-800-5201-KFI, Orange County, 5201-KFI in L.A. County. You see your grandmother in the Monster Man section, just keep walking. Phil Hendrie on KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Alan LeGreen in the KFI Traffic Center.
Stimulating talk radio.
Kiss my grits, Mel.
Phil Hendrie.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. The gentleman Corona here talking to us. So you went into a video store last night, or the other night. What night was this?
I was on Tuesday night, Phil.
All right, so the other night you walk into a video store, you got stuff. It sounds to me like you got a fairly sizable stack of adult films. I got no problem with that. It's your business. You walk out, there's a lady there from your kid's school, she sees this. You're embarrassed for what? Because the titles were racy? Because
my wife's out of town, because I'm not known as somebody who would rent, adult films. I'm active with my children's school. I'm active in our church group. I'm active in our business as well. And
but some of the titles you mentioned you were embarrassed about, huh?
I had, that was a part, one of the things, you go to these video stores, you have to take the box out with you, and it would have been easier had they just been in a case or something. But I had to walk out there with a stack of videos that I'm holding with two arms, and one of them was one that had to do with this jungle fever deal with a black on white. Another was.
What were the names of the movies? Okay, I mean, if it's just names.
I got a box right here. I don't know what you want me to say here.
Just go ahead and say the names of these films.
One's called She-Male Escapade. One's called Jungle Fever Part 2. One's called Attack of the Monster Memories. Another one was called Monster Man's on the Move. Another one's called Super Jugs 3. Another one's called The Farmer's Daughter. And another one's called Anal Intruders Part 3.
And these are the films that you were walking out with?
Yes, sir.
All right. I mean, if the lady saw them, I can understand that you're embarrassed.
Well, I don't like the fact that my children have been subjected to this, and I don't like...
Well, you know what? That woman had a lot of business talking to her kids about this, number one. And I think that it's too bad that your children have been put through this, but I don't think you can sue a woman for defamation of character and for, whatever it is that you're talking about.
I got a couple more here I forgot about. One's called Anal Country Bazaar, and one's Double Penetration Country.
All right, we don't need to know. You don't have to tell me any more of the movies, okay?
I just wanted to give you background on what...
No, that's fine. Don't give me any more of the movies. I don't think you can sue her, okay?
What about the fact that my children have been subjected to this? Because the Farmer's Daughter movie, which they thought had something to do with bestiality, which it did not. It was just a movie about a girl who's a farm girl and a traveling salesman. It's just a plain old joke. But because there's a picture of a girl and a sheep on the cover of this thing, they made some comments. They thought it was a bestiality movie, and it is not. And
well, all right, then you explain that it's not.
But my children are at school, and these kids are coming up to them now, and they're making all kinds of jokes like, one of them walked up to my kid the other day and said, "How's your dad?" I think that is so unfair, and I think it's so...
What did he do?
They made a bestiality joke.
What did he do? He bad like a sheep? Or what do you call it? Bleated like a sheep?
Well, he came up to my son, one of the kids, and said, "How's your dad?" Like that. And my son didn't know what to say or do. He said, "My dad's fine." He goes, "Okay, I'm glad." And I heard this. I'm saying, it sounds to me like they're messing with you, but I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds to me like they're messing with him.
Well, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, if the kid comes up and says, "How's your dad?" I would say so.
Well, no one messes with a Bosell, okay? And some kid, just because I had a feel, there's a sheep on the box doesn't mean I'm into animal sex, okay? But he comes up to me, or he comes up to my son, he says, "How's your dad?" And, all of that, aren't you funny? I told him, next time he pulls that, he ought to just haul off and go ahead and clock him. Because nobody comes up to a Bosell and says, "I'm glad your dad's okay," and making all of these lamb chop jokes, making all of these things about Sherry Lewis jokes. I found this to be completely beyond the pale, and I could sue the kid. They could be crying.
Just look at you know what? Kids are going to be kids, sir. And the woman should not have opened her mouth. But again, to answer your question, I do not think you have a right to sue just because the kid...
Even though the kid comes up to me and says, "How's your dad?" and all of that stuff, you're telling me I don't have to sue or anything like that, okay? I believe that I can. I believe I have a case. And I know there are some attorneys taking a case, too. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, okay?
Well, I don't think you should, and I'm awfully sorry that your kids have been put through this. I really do, okay? And I'm afraid that what you should do is just take these movies back.
I got to get them back before 10 o'clock. What time is it now?
What? It's 9:30.
Holy Jesus. I'm going to get the late charge on these. I've had it for 2 days. You get a 2-day rental on these deals because these are really some pretty raunchy stuff, so I got about $1.99.
I don't need to know, okay?
I got to get them all back before they're let's see it. I have them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, sir. That's fine.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's fine, sir. And the best of luck to you.
14,
15, 16, 17.
How many movies did you rent, man?
I got, counting the Anal Intruder series,
I don't know what you're counting.
I got about 20. Now I got to start from the beginning. God damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, pal. Look, good luck with you, okay? And don't sue the lady, but if you do, I hope you got a good lawyer, because I don't think you have a case.
14, 15, 16.
You listening to me?
20, 21, 22. All right, I got them all.
Good for you, pal.
You ought to check out that Anal Intruders, Bill.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. Good luck to you, okay?
All right, I'm sorry to bother you.
Fine.
You think I can fit all 22 into the night deposit slot?
I don't know when he can put it in the night deposit slot.
It's not the time, though, to say that, you don't want to have kids dressed as firefighters and police officers, I don't think. 1-800-449...
What's even scarier is the kids, they love to fantasize. They just might think that they can help. That's all I'm saying. I'm telling parents right now, we may take this out of their hands. We see any kids dressed as firefighters and police officers.
I don't even know if you can cite a parent for their kid impersonating a police officer. 1-800-449-8686 on the Phil Hendrie Show. Here is Kevin. Kevin, go ahead.
My question is when you see this 3-foot-tall cop, and you see this 3-foot-tall ghost and 3-foot-tall Godzilla right next to him.
Especially your senior citizens who call a cop, and if that kid's alone or for whatever reason they think that's a real cop or real firefighter, I don't think there's the time to be dressing the kid up like that.
So common sense goes out the window in that situation. The argument about the right
Common sense goes out the window. Right now, I don't know if you heard, the FBI said that there is a possibility of terror attacks.
We pay a cop to be on his game.
You hear about that?
If a cop hands a 3-foot-tall cop who thinks he's a cop a gun, then we're not paying that cop to do his job right. That's what he's
you know
paid
what?
to do under
You can
stress.
talk about that. You can talk about that at the city council meeting later on when they try to fire that guy. But in the meantime, a mistake has been made. And who's going to pay for it? I don't know.
Not only are you saying they shouldn't dress up, you're saying that
I'm saying they don't dress up. I'm saying that they don't dress up as police officers. And you do give police officers the option to handle threat. You don't have little tiny kids dressed up as cops because people could get confused.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Let's go over to, I don't know which call. Let's go to Maria on the Phil Hendrie Show. Go ahead.
Yes, hi. I live in Miami, and I have an 8-year-old who's going to be dressed as a police officer. And he looks nothing like our officers here. I mean, there's no chance in the world he's going to be confused, and I think that's just ridiculous.
What kind of uniform is he dressed in?
It's a little black, like a leotard type thing, and it's got a little vest that says police in green. And
right, that's very similar to South Miami Beach Police.
A leotard?
Yes, like a one-piece little leotard. It doesn't have boots. It doesn't have...
Wait. No, I know that you're dressing your son.
Nothing.
No, see, that is exactly... The South Miami Beach wear a leotard underneath it.
The South Miami Beach Police wear a leotard.
What she's dressing her boy in could be mistaken, yes. Now he goes to the door.
I think that's just totally... I mean, he dressed up on Sunday and nothing like it.
Now he goes to the door of a senior citizen. A senior citizen who is frightened because some guy crawled through her window and
he's going to be with my other little boy who's 3 years old, and he's going to be with a bunch of other kids who's a witch and who's a, other little characters, and nobody's going to confuse them for anything. And if there was, God forbid, something bad happened, my son is not going to be going near any guns because I'm going to be with him.
No, he's not going to be going near any guns, but if a catastrophe occurs where the police come in, the police may mistake him for one of their own.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that would happen in a million years.
I'll tell you right now,
Are you're saying, Mr. Bosell, that were this another time if the country wasn't having an emergency?
I just think that the risk is too great. That's exactly correct. If we weren't under a state of emergency, it might be a different story. But the risk, I think, is far too great for this kind of thing to happen.
All right. So your son's going to be dressed as a cop, but he's going to be in tights. Is that right, ma'am?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a cartoon character. It doesn't look anything like a police officer. I think somebody's going to mistake him for a real officer. It's got to be out of their mind.
Then how is anybody supposed to know he's a police officer?
He's got a little fake plastic badge and a little fake little bit outdoors. And
I mean, we as a country cannot afford to take the risk right now.
A fake plastic badge.
I agree that this is a state of emergency, but I think that's totally ridiculous. I don't think anybody's going to mistake him for anything.
All right, thanks for your call. 1-800-449-8686. A plastic badge, a fake plastic gun.
It's dark. It's night. You see lights. They bounce off the badge. You think it's for real. They wear the hat that looks just like the kind on Car 54, Where Are You, or whatever. with the black pants.
And what do you mean the South Miami Beach police wear tights?
They do wear a form of a green leotard, yes, sir. This is all I'm afraid of.
I used to live in Miami. I never saw any cop wearing a leotard.
Well, I guess you haven't been around police. I mean, I've studied police science.
Okay, 1-800-449-8686. We're talking here with Steve Bosell. He is a homeowner in Corona, California, who believes that the children wearing police uniforms, the children wearing firefighter uniforms, and this kind of thing is only going to cause the confusion among senior citizens especially, because they're going to think that these are real cops out there.